what's next. Marvel Studios WandaVision. Now streaming only on Disney+.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, it's your homie, FuturisticMike, and I'm back with another WandaVision video if you're new. Now, this is going to be the review on WandaVision Season 1, Episode 4. If you're a fan of WandaVision, if you love WandaVision, hit the like on this video. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're finding me, subscribe and turn on those post notifications so when I post videos on WandaVision, you get them. Now, this episode right here, man, this episode was fire. Now, this is what the MCU is, man. You know, MCU is amazing. They are so smart about the way they do things. It's not even funny. I can't even tell you guys how much I enjoyed this episode. This right here was the best episode, hands down. I watched this episode and after it was over, I wanted to watch it again. This episode had a whole new perspective. I'm gonna say this right now, man. If you guys were not hooked already on this show, you definitely are hooked now. I'm telling y'all, man, this is gonna get so much better. Like, they explained everything in this episode. We know that everything is not what it seems at all. Everything is so weird in this Westview town, and we know exactly what's going on. This episode completely changes course and puts a whole new perspective on the show. And we've all been waiting for this show to provide real stakes into what is all happening in this town. Like, what is going on? Now we know. I mean, it was done so well. I mean, they did this so good that nobody expected it to be done this way. I'm gonna give this episode a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10. The show just continues to get better every single episode, in my opinion. This was just amazing, man. This episode was outstanding. I can't wait to see what happens next, man. Marvel done did it again. So when the episode first starts, we see that Monica Rambeau, aka Geraldine, you know, she's in the hospital. She gets blipped back to the hospital because if you guys remember in Spider-Man Far From Home, it was called People Got Blipped, you know, because of Thanos when he snapped his fingers and everything disappeared, everybody disappeared or whatever. People vanished, they disappeared, I guess they blipped. So that's what happened to Monica as well. You know, she blipped just like a lot of people in the world, you know, millions of people blipped. So she came back after her disappearance and the doctor was surprised to see her, but you know, Monica was asking about her mother. She wants to know where her mother is at. Apparently her mom died a few years ago, you know, a couple years after she disappeared, her mom died. And her mom was Maria Rambeau. And if you guys really know that name, like if you've heard that name before, and if you're a Marvel fan, you definitely have, then Maria Rambeau is the woman in Captain Marvel. You know, she was the best friend of Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. So everything is starting to make sense now, man. Like, you know, we know who this Geraldine chick is now, and things are really starting to play out. So we see Monica, you know, she has a job at Sword. They haven't seen her there in a while, so her key card didn't work, but one of the guys in charge came and he said it was good to see Director Rambeau, and we seen that Maria's picture was on the wall. Maria had a big part in building Sword, so they have her picture up. Now they need Monica for a case. You know, there's a case that they just can't crack, and it's a disappearance case. You know, somebody has disappeared. So we see Randall Park is back in his role as Jimmy Woo, and if you guys recognize that name too, then you'll know him from Ant-Man. Remember in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he was constantly trying to nail Scott. You know, Scott had to put his ankle monitor on those big ants so he could go out and he could do missions with Hank and Hope and stuff. And he kept trying to bust him. You know, he was the FBI agent, Jimmy Woo. He was the agent in Ant-Man. So it was really good to see him back in the MCU. And also, I'm going to say it was great to see Kat Dennings as well, who plays Darcy Lewis in the MCU. You guys might recognize her from the Thor movies. You know, she was working with the Doctor and Jane. So you might recognize her from that movie. Man, it was so good seeing these familiar faces. I feel like as time goes on, we're gonna keep seeing more and more faces. But what happens next is Monica comes to talk to Jimmy. And he said instead of a disappearance case for like a person, it's more of like a whole town disappearing. He said there's no such thing as a town Westview, even though there's a sign right there in front of them that says welcome to Westview. So Jimmy tells Monica that they're not allowed in the town. Like there's no way they can even get in. So Monica takes a drone and she flies it in the portal. It's like an energy field surrounding the little town, which is kind of crazy. So Monica goes up to the energy field, she touches it, and then it sucks her in. Now next we see Sword, the FBI and all kinds of agents. They're trying to really crack this case. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They bring in all these agents and they team up and they have a little tent outside the town and a whole work area and stuff. And they're just trying to figure out what is going on in this town. Like, why are people disappearing? Why can't anybody go in? Why are people forced to stay in there? They're trying to figure this out. Well, eventually, Darcy, she finds out that there's a sitcom being broadcasted. She's viewing this on a little TV, and it was funny because she said, "Can I get a bigger TV? Like, I'm gonna need a bigger TV. This is not gonna do." Now, Darcy is really surprised to see Wanda and Vision in this sitcom, and she shares this news with Jimmy. So they're watching the sitcom, they're really invested in the sitcom. They're actually watching it while trying to figure out what's going on at the same time. They're trying to crack this case, but they're also intrigued by what's going on in the show. But they are so surprised to see Wanda and Vision because Jimmy even said, like, isn't he dead? They know that this particular Avenger died. They know for a fact. But here he is in this show. So what's going on? In the show is being broadcasted from inside Westview. So what really is going on right here? They try to send this guy in with this suit through the sewers. And this is the guy that we knew as the beekeeper from the second episode. Remember that? When the guy came out of the sewer. So they sent him in. And, eventually we see him come out on the other side and we see Wanda and Vision just standing there. And it doesn't really show what happened, but we see the exact same scene from episode 2. Now, Darcy and Jimmy, they're just watching the sitcom, they're watching each episode. They're trying to pick up on clues and stuff. Darcy tells Jimmy that, at a certain point in time, Jimmy can take like a microphone and yell Wanda's name to see if she can hear him. So he does this, and it seems like Wanda actually hears him. She stops in the show for a minute. She looks like she's really confused, like, where's that voice coming from? But then the episode ends, so they can't do anything about it. Now, their main focus is to get Monica Rambeau out of there. She's one of their agents, and they need to make sure she's safe and she gets back to the real world. So they want to make sure she gets out of there. They're doing whatever they can to get her out. But then it shows Monica on the screen, and her name is Geraldine in the sitcom. So Darcy and Jimmy, they're watching, and Geraldine picks up a couple lines in the show. And then they get to the part where Geraldine says something about Ultron. She says it to Wanda like, didn't your brother get killed by Ultron? And Jimmy says, wait, is that the first time that they referenced something in our reality, in our world? And they were surprised to hear that name because they know how big that name was, in Avengers Age of Ultron. He caused so much damage. Ultron destroyed so much, so they know that name. And this is when it actually shows us what happened. Because remember in episode 3, Wanda said to Geraldine, look, you gotta go. Well, Wanda used her powers. I think Wanda is like one of the strongest Avengers. I mean, her powers are just unbelievable. Like when she charged her red beam up and she took it and she blasted Geraldine, aka Monica, out of that house, and she flew all the way out of the simulation. She went all the way back to the real reality. It was crazy, like how her powers are so powerful. But then we see what happened in between the time Wanda used her powers on Geraldine and then the ending scene where they're sitting on the couch with the babies. We see what happened in between. Vision came in the house and Wanda sees Vision like all gray and his head's bashed in and everything. So Wanda is remembering what Vision looked like after Thanos killed him. So things are starting to really get crazy now. And then it's like when they're broadcasting this sitcom, you know, they cut these parts out, like these weird parts, so nobody can see those parts. I mean, this show is just crazy, man. It's outstanding. And then it shows Monica when she flies out of Westview, and we just see her laying there. She looks so confused, like she doesn't know what hit her. Maybe she hit her head, or the fact that Wanda used her powers and she flew out so fast, maybe her memory was affected for a couple minutes. But she was just laying there literally not knowing what hit her. So Darcy and Jimmy and all the agents run up to Monica. Yeah, Monica is just laying there super confused. And then it shows Wanda and Vision, you know, they sit on the couch, they have the two twins, the babies, and then that's the end of the episode. I thought this episode was so freaking good. I give this episode, like I said, a 10 out of 10. If you think my score is too high, that's fine. Let me know. Comment your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know why you think that. But I think this episode was amazing. What did you guys think of it? Did you like this episode as much as I did? Because I loved it. Comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm going to be making some more videos in the next week about predictions, about possible things that could happen, things that could go down in the next couple episodes, and what I predict for the rest of the season. So I'm going to be making videos throughout the week, not just when the episode airs, because this episode right here has given me a lot to talk about. So I cannot wait for the next one. This episode didn't even have a title. It was just called episode 4. All the other episodes had titles, unless they change it to an actual title soon. I don't know. But I cannot wait for episode 5. This series is lit, and it's just getting better and better in my opinion. But comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this amazing episode. Keep supporting your boy, and I'll be continuing to bring y'all WandaVision content in the future. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you can never miss a video. If you guys want to donate to the channel, I got links to the PayPal and Cash App accounts down below in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me get out of here, y'all. It's your boy FuturisticMike, and I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.